Hey people. Awake count because, well, obvious reasons. I, 42M, have been married to my wife, 38F, for about 16 years. We've had what I thought was a pretty normal marriage, ups, downs, arguments about dumb stuff like laundry or what to order for dinner. But, overall, I thought we were solid. We have a son together, 17, who's honestly a great kid. Respectful, smart, popular at school. Always had friends coming over, playing video games, hanging out in the backyard. My wife was always the cool mom, baking cookies, ordering pizzas, laughing way too hard at their jokes. If I'm being honest, I was kind of proud of it. I thought it showed we had a warm home. A safe place where our kids' friends actually wanted to hang out. But over the last few months, things started to feel off. It's hard to put my finger on it exactly. She got more distant. She was always glued to her phone, even hiding it when I walked into the room. She started dressing up way more around the house, full makeup just to relax on the couch. And when I joked about it, something like, "Wow, who are you getting all dolled up for?" she would snap at me. Super defensive. I just want to feel good about myself. God, not everything's about you. At first, I brushed it off. I mean, she's beautiful, why wouldn't she want to look nice? Maybe she was going through some midlife glow-up thing. But there was this little voice in the back of my head that kept nagging me, something's wrong. I wish I had listened to it sooner. The real tipping point came one Saturday night. Our son had a bunch of his friends over, nothing unusual. They were all out back, grilling burgers, blasting music, being loud teenagers. I was upstairs in my office, trying to finish some work. At some point, I realized it had gotten weirdly quiet. I came downstairs thinking maybe they went to a movie or something, but when I peeked outside, a few of the kids were still hanging out. Only, and this is where it gets sick, my wife and my son's best friend, let's call him Zach, 18M, were nowhere to be seen. Now, Zach had always been around a lot. He's like a second son to us. Or, he was supposed to be. At first, I figured maybe he ran home or was grabbing something from his car. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then I noticed her phone was sitting on the kitchen counter. Unlocked. Now, I'm not proud of this, but I looked. And what I found? There were texts. Dozens of them. Between her and Zach. Not about homework or plans, no, these were intimate. Dirty. Stuff I don't even want to type out here. Pictures too. Her sending him selfies in lingerie. Him calling her his secret and saying he couldn't wait until next time. I just stood there, frozen. My stomach dropped like a rock. This was real. This was happening. She was sleeping with a kid young enough to still be in high school. Our son's best friend. And the worst part? I realized, this probably wasn't even the first time. I don't even remember walking upstairs. It was like I was on autopilot. My whole body was shaking, not just from anger, but from betrayal. This wasn't just cheating. This was a full-on mockery of everything we had built together. I found her in our bedroom, casually scrolling through TV channels like she didn't have a care in the world. I stood there for a second, phone in hand, just staring at her. She glanced up and smiled, that fake, sugary sweet smile that used to make me melt. Now it just made my skin crawl. "What's wrong, babe?" she asked, like I was the one being weird. I tossed her phone onto the bed, open to the messages. Her face changed instantly, the color drained right out of it. "What is this?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She stared at the screen for a second, then had the audacity to laugh, like an awkward, high-pitched giggle. "Oh my God, you're overreacting. Zach and I are just, joking around. It's not serious." "Not serious?" I pointed at a message that literally said, "Can't stop thinking about your lips on me last night," face blowing a kiss, and she still tried to spin it. "It was just flirting," she said, waving her hand like it was nothing. Nothing even happened. You're making a big deal out of nothing because you're insecure. I lost it. I mean, truly lost it. I told her she needed to get out of the house, that I couldn't even look at her without feeling sick. She started crying loud, messy, ugly sobs, blaming me for not paying enough attention to her, saying she felt invisible and wanted to feel young again. There it was. The classic blame shift. Somehow, her sleeping with a kid was now my fault. I walked out before I said something I'd regret forever. After I stormed out, I got into my car and just drove. No destination, no plan, I just needed to get away from that house, from her. I ended up parking at some random gas station 2 towns over. Just sat there, staring out the windshield, replaying everything over and over in my head. Every birthday party, every anniversary trip, every night we stayed up talking about growing old together, it all felt like a joke now. I won't even lie to you, I cried. Like, full-on ugly crying, fists pounding the steering wheel crying. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the sheer disrespect. She threw away our life for, what? An ego boost? A cheap thrill with some 18-year-old who still thinks Axe body spray is cologne? I felt so stupid. How did I not see it? How did I miss all the signs? The late nights. The sudden new obsession with working out and wearing tighter clothes. The way she kept mentioning how mature Zach was for his age. I thought it was just harmless bragging, proud that our son had good friends. Now it all felt gross. At one point, she even blew up my phone with texts. Crying emojis. I'm sorry. It didn't mean anything. It was a mistake. A mistake that she kept making over and over, apparently. When I finally dragged myself home at like 2 a.m., the house was dark. She was asleep, or pretending to be, on the couch. I grabbed a pillow and crashed in the guest room. I couldn't even stand to sleep in the same bed where she'd probably been texting him under my nose. That night changed me forever. I woke up the next morning feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. Barely slept. Barely breathed. Just hurt. I went downstairs and found her sitting at the kitchen table, looking like the cover of a bad romance novel, messy hair, hoodie, fake tears already locked and loaded. She jumped up the second she saw me, launching into this pathetic speech about how it was all a misunderstanding and it just happened once. Lie number 1, I already knew from Zach's friend's texts that it was going on for months. She said she was feeling lonely and unappreciated and Zach's friend was just there at the wrong time. So wrong time, every weekend for 3 months? Got it. I sat there, stone-faced, listening to her dig herself deeper. The more she talked, the more ridiculous it got. She claimed she thought Zach's friend was older at first. She said he was the one who pursued her aggressively. She even tried to blame me, saying if I had paid more attention to her, it never would have happened. Classic deflection. I asked her point-blank if she loved him. She hesitated. She stammered. And then, dead serious, she said, I don't know. Not a no. Not a yes. Just, I don't know. And weirdly enough, that was the moment I stopped being angry. It was like the anger burned so hot it just vanished. All that was left was this cold, hollow feeling. Like she was a stranger sitting across from me, someone I didn't even recognize anymore. After that I don't know bomb, I knew there was no fixing this. I didn't want to fix it. I wasn't going to be the guy who stuck around while my wife played house with my son's friend behind my back. While she cried and rambled on about going to counseling and working through it, I was already making moves in my head. Quiet, cold, calculated moves. First thing, protect myself legally. I made an appointment with a divorce lawyer that same afternoon. Didn't even tell her. Didn't even hint at it. Let her think I was still processing. I also started collecting evidence, screenshots of her messages with Zach's friend, the phone records, even a few incriminating selfies she was stupid enough to send him. Yes, she sent selfies. To a kid. On our family Wi-Fi. Real brain genius, my wife. Meanwhile, she flipped between being clingy and distant, like some weird emotional yo-yo. 1 minute trying to cook my favorite meals, the next minute screaming at me for being cold and unforgiving. Newsflash. You don't get forgiven for blowing up your marriage for a literal teenager. One night, when I was packing up some stuff to take to my brother's place, she tried to seduce me: lingerie, candles, the whole pathetic setup. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "You disgust me." She crumpled right there on the bed, sobbing like she was the victim. I walked out without another word. I wasn't just done emotionally, I was strategically done. Everything I did from that point forward was about one thing: getting out with my dignity, my sanity, and my future intact. Just when I thought I had everything under control, the universe decided to laugh in my face. About a week into staying at my brother's place, I got a call from Zach's friend's parents. Yeah. His parents. Turns out, they had found some of the texts between their son and my wife on his phone. Explicit ones. Ones that could definitely get the police involved. They were furious. Threatening to press charges. Threatening to expose everything. I felt sick. I mean, I hated her for what she did, but the idea of the mother of my children getting arrested? Making our already shattered lives even messier? Dragging our son's name through the mud? It was too much. I met with Zach's friend's parents at a diner the next morning. They showed me screenshots worse than anything I had seen. Not just texts but videos. Stuff my wife had sent him while Zach and I were literally downstairs playing video games. It was so much worse than I thought. She wasn't just being reckless, she was being predatory. Their parents were conflicted, too angry, hurt, embarrassed. We ended up agreeing, for now, not to go nuclear, mainly for the sake of Zach and their kid. But I knew then that this wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about protecting my son, cleaning up the fallout, and getting the hell away from her before everything collapsed completely. The divorce? Yeah, it just got a whole lot messier. If you thought my wife couldn't dig the hole any deeper, oh man, you'd be wrong. After I met with Zach's friend's parents, I tried to keep everything low-key. I didn't tell her what I knew, I wanted everything airtight before the divorce filing. But of course, she couldn't just leave it alone. She started blowing up my phone, showing up at my brother's house uninvited, crying on the porch like some tragic movie character. She even tried sending me gifts, expensive ones. Like designer watches, tickets to a dream vacation, the works. As if buying my forgiveness was gonna erase the fact that she was sexting my son's friend. Then she did the absolute dumbest thing imaginable. She posted a huge, sappy, public apology on Facebook. Like, full essay length. Crying about how sometimes people make mistakes, how love can be complicated, and worst of all, she never actually said what she did. So of course, everyone assumed I cheated. My phone blew up with messages like, "Bro, how could you do her like that? You're throwing away a queen. You'll regret this." Meanwhile, she was getting showered with sympathy and support. People offering to take her out, DMing her sweet messages. It was like watching a gaslighting masterclass in real time. I felt like I was going crazy. I wanted to scream the truth from the rooftops, show the receipts, expose everything. But I kept my cool. Because at the end of the day, I knew. The truth always finds its way out. And she had no idea just how badly she was about to burn herself. I stayed quiet. I kept gathering evidence. Let her keep running her mouth online, painting herself as some poor abandoned angel. But what she didn't know. Zach knew everything. He had seen the texts. He had found the videos. He knew exactly what was happening, and he was furious. One night, while she was still posting cryptic quotes about healing and new beginnings, Zach dropped the nuclear bomb. He posted a screenshot of one of her messages to his friend right in the comments section of her latest pity party post. It was brutal. No warning. No mercy. Caption: "Tell the whole story, Mom. Or should I?" Within an hour, everything blew up. Her inbox? Flooded. Mutual friends? Turning against her. Family? Asking hard questions. She tried to delete everything, tried to backpedal, but it was too late. The screenshots were everywhere. People were stunned, some even apologized to me for assuming the worst. Meanwhile, she went into full damage control. Claimed Zach misunderstood, claimed it was just friendly flirting, nauseated face, claimed the kid pursued her. The amount of excuses was pathetic. I didn't say much publicly, I didn't have to. Everyone could see the truth for themselves now. And honestly, watching her entire fake perfect image crumble under the weight of her own stupidity? It was the first time in months I felt peaceful. After everything exploded, it was surprisingly easy to move forward. She tried a few more times to fix things, but it was like trying to glue together shattered glass, pointless. I filed for divorce, no hesitation. Full custody of Zach? Granted. The judge took one look at the evidence and basically fast-tracked the whole thing. She got visitation rights supervised, but honestly, Zach wanted nothing to do with her at that point. Financially? I was protected. Thank God for a good prenup, and an even better lawyer. She lost a lot more than she thought she would. And here's the cherry on top. Turns out Zach's friend's mom, the one whose son my wife messed around with, was recently divorced too. And unlike my wife, she was actually a kind, classy, beautiful woman. We reconnected through all the chaos. First just sharing war stories, then coffee, then dinners. Now, we've been dating for a few months, and it's the healthiest, happiest relationship I've had in years. Funny how life works sometimes. Final thoughts. If you're reading this and going through something similar, here's my advice. Trust your gut. When something feels wrong, it is wrong. Don't let yourself be gaslit. Gather your evidence quietly. Stay calm. Then move smart, not loud. You deserve loyalty, respect, and peace. And sometimes losing a toxic person is the best damn thing that can ever happen to you.